unblocking procedure. First indication that you'll have that the machine is possibly blocked is no more ice will be coming out of there at the end of the nozzle. You'll stop cleaning effectively. Don't always assume that it is a blockage. Stop blasting, go back to the machine, hit the emergency stop. First thing to do is check inside the hopper. You might run out of ice. You know, that's the most obvious thing to check. If you open up the lid and see in the hopper that you have got ice, and then you walk round to the back of the machine, and if you look in the tube in the back there, you will see ice pellets that are starting to spill out the back of the machine. Now that is an indication that there's a blockage somewhere. Now 80 to 90% of blockages occur in the nozzle here. Dependent on the atmospheric conditions that you're working in, i.e. humidity levels, what happens is that over a period of time, blasting and blasting and blasting, water, ice or moisture is attracted to both the outside and the inside of this chamber in here. And what happens is the condign nozzle that is in here starts to close up as that water ice starts to gather and gather and gather on the exit of the condign nozzle. It starts to restrict the flow of ice around it and therefore and into the blast stream, and eventually up to the point where the ice can't pass through it at all, and it starts to back up, and it backs up all the way down the ice feed tube all the way back to the back of the machine. You won't always have that effect if you see it early enough. All you'll see is just nothing coming out the back there. So the first thing to do, establish the fact that you have got a blockage. If it's just a simple blockage in there, find something blunt, be it the corner of the machine, corner of a stairway, whatever it is you're cleaning, corner of the machine that you're cleaning, anything nice and blunt. Quick tap on there, that will break up the water ice that's gathered in there. Shake it out, carry on blasting. That's a simple way to get rid of it. Some more stubborn blockages where the ice has backed up all the way along the tube to the point where the ice is spilling out the back there, that needs to be got rid of before you can start blasting again, because it will be compacted along the length of the tube. And the way to get rid of that is to divert the blast stream back down the ice tube, like out the back of the machine. First thing to do when you get to the machine and you've discovered a blockage like that is, first thing, primarily make sure that the area around the back of the machine, probably 3 meters beyond the machine and to the sides, is clear of A, personnel, and B, any equipment that could be damaged by ice particles flying out and hitting them. So that's the first thing to do, is make sure that area is clear. Next thing to do is to take a screwdriver, any other blunt object that you might have, and break up the ice in the back of the auger there. Break that up into nice small particles so that you know you've got a nice clear path for the ice that you're going to blow out to come out. So you break that up, back to the machine. Because you will have been blasting, you will have been in the run position. Switch the selector switch over to the blast only position. The reason you do that is you're trying to get rid of all the ice that's in the ice tube. The last thing you want to do is continue to run the auger and pump more ice in there. So you move the selector switch over to the blast only position, arm your trigger, and then get yourself against flat surface such as a door like this, metal door, panelling on a machine. If neither of those are available, crouch down onto the floor and get the nozzle roughly about 1 millimetre from the ground, and then pull the trigger. And what will happen is that will divert the blast stream straight back down the ice tube, and it will blast out all the ice that's collected in the ice tube and out the back of the machine, and that will clear it, and then you can go back to blasting as normal. So we'll just demonstrate that. The reason that I say hold the nozzle about 1 millimetre from the ground is if you put it on the ground, you're going to be putting all that pressure, all that blast pressure, back down that tube. You don't want to do that. All you want to do is put sufficient down there to clear the ice out. If you start putting all the pressure in there, chances are you're going to blow the end off. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, because as soon as that comes off, you'll notice it, you'll let go of the trigger, you'll stop. You'll realise then that possibly there is a more serious blockage. Now that blockage could be a piece of debris, a foreign object that's got in there. If it is, then you're going to have to find that piece of debris and fish that out before you can go any further. But like I say, 80–90% of blockages occur in here, and they compact the ice back up through the tube. You might find, depending on how heavily compacted the ice is, you might have to find that you have to work your way along the hose, bending it and breaking that compacted ice up so that it will come flying out the back. But anyway, let's just show you what happens when it does out the back. As I say, nice flat surface. I'll use the floor for now.